sir. How we doing? How we doing? We're the American Devils, and we are breaking down Manchester United's loss. They crashed out of the cup 1-1, 5-3 on penalties against Fulham. United making a meal of it once again. Not good enough through most of this game. Sleepwalking the first half. We made some subs in the second half, a little better. Showed a little fight, actually, in overtime, especially in the first half of overtime. Had a couple chances to win it. And then penalty malaise. What do you expect? United crashing out and doing so in a way where we have to watch more shit football. I thought Cheeto came on, showed some goodness, some promise. This guy's laughing next to me, just ready to take the cyanide pills. Tell me, how we doing, Dr. Zayas? how we doing? How we doing? We're gonna bury ourselves with that opium mine? Are we gonna play some dynamite? Blow this place to fucking kingdom come?
Sir.
How are we feeling? United crash out. There we go. One chance. Great. By the way, a terrible Fulham side, especially that first half. They were misplacing passes everywhere. They were there to be taken. United blows their opportunity, crashes out of a cup. Great chance for Europe, especially with big teams falling thick and fast. And United lose again. How are we feeling? How are we doing?
Sir, not doing great. Keep them digging in the hopium mine. You found a little fight there. What was that, 5 minutes in extra time? Maybe 2 chances we created or something like that. I mean, this team is it's a bad product. It's a bad team. Look, I love this club.
No shit.
And we'll back it to the hilt. The history of Manchester United. Even this cup competition is really important to this club. But these players, sir, I'm pretty much done with this cast of characters. Lindelöf stepping up, knew he missed that penalty. That was a
mile away.
Don't sacrifice Cheeto to the penalty gods just yet. I just knew he was going to miss. And then Zirkzee just salt in the wound. Zirkzee once again starting, showing that those two people who signed them probably needs to be fired. And this club is just a dumpster fire. Garnacho can't finish worth much out there. He does get in behind, but he's not getting the opportunities on target and just not good enough. A home performance against a Fulham side that these players, we have the talent in the team to beat them and do it convincingly. But for some reason, there's this consistency and effort and just give a shit that United doesn't have, where we just are so flat and we turn it up in maybe moments, 6 minutes. And it's that should be 120 minutes. And then the club brings you all the way to the brink and you get the death blow with the Lindelöf penalty miss.
Lindelöf penalty
with him heading out the door in the summer.
Yeah, smell you later.
Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing.
And it's really bad because we really need European football. And this was a shot at it. And probably one of the easier shots given who's left in the competition. And we're done. So for me, if you're watching this team every single game, every single week, like we are, hats off to you. But this is the worst Manchester United side and least likable Manchester United side I've seen in my lifetime, for sure.
Well, it's certainly the worst. This team is full of passengers. I mean, let's be honest. Fulham were off the paces today. They came in red-hot form, much better form than United. I think they're 9 points ahead of us in the league. And they were not on their game. It was a great opportunity for United to rise into the moment and be like, hey, this is a cup competition we can win. This is a cup competition that almost all the big clubs have been knocked out of. One of the last big ones is City, Villa. I mean, Fulham are going on to play Palace in the quarterfinals. Great opportunity to get back into Europa League and to finish the season on a high note. And instead, they had an opportunity and they shot all over themselves. And Fulham were not creating anything. And they just get one chance at the end of the first half, score from a corner once again. Bruno Fernandes, class, bails us out in the first place. And like you said, we have to go through all the extra time. And then Lindelöf walks up. You're like, there's no way that motherfucker is scoring this penalty. And he didn't let you down. And this is what United's going to do right now. They're going to let you down. I mean, I hate to say it. I like to hope that we can turn something around in Europa League, but I have a feeling that John and I, we're going abroad. We're going to see United twice in the next week. I think we're going to get two losses and 0 goals.
This is a one-way ticket.
0-0-2. That's my prediction, because this United team, they're going to crash out of this cup. I think they're going to crash the Europa League from Real Sociedad, a Spanish opponent. This team away, they're going to break. They're going to fall like a house of cards. So it's a season of survival. We're not going to get relegated. I hope the manager doesn't get fired, because I don't trust the people running this club at this moment. But right now, we have to just survive this season as a fan base. Grit our teeth, and just endure, because right now, this is not getting any better. The football's not getting any better. No one's coming to rescue. There's no one coming to save us. We're on our own. What's that hopium? That's the opposite of hopium.
There's no hope.
Season.
Right now, we would be stupid to think that next year's going to be much better. You're look at the financial situation, and then look at Ruben Amorim right now. Like, he's got nothing, and there's no bench. We don't even have any depth in the squad. He's not even gonna have a full team next year. And is the 3-4-3 gonna be a hit? Like, the players, the majority of players that we sure have today can't play it and look like crap doing it, and don't put forth the effort. And all of a sudden, you're not going to re-sign the whole team. So you're not going to bring enough people to get it working next year. So we're staring down a pretty long road. And INEOS is coming out with the, project 2020, 2021, we're going to win the title in like 3 years or whatever. And it's like, you look at this team and it's just like, wow, it could be a relegation scrap next year for sure. And it
definitely.
Right now, baseline is probably like, you sign 2 or 3 players that Hopium Mine digs up all of these things, like they're going to solve all of our problems. In like the last 10 years, every one of them just burn out when they show up. And then the manager gets axed early in the season. Then you're in a transition, like dumpster fire. And you could be in a Big Sam situation. And like, that's my major concern about Manchester United, is that we are continually headed in decline. There is no real moments that we can hang our hat on, and there's no real sign that we've turned the corner. And to think that the summer is going to solve all of our problems, I hope it does. It's just becoming sort of a real tall ask for this club, this ownership, and this manager. But sir, before we take the cyanide pills, let's get into a quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Devils? Check us out on YouTube. Search us up, American Devils. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, you can like, comment, subscribe. Supports the channel. It goes a long way to help us get found by other Muppets such as yourself. And if YouTube is not your thing, check out our Patreon page. Great way to support the podcast, patreon.com/AmericanReddevils. Also our store, great merch. We got hats, we got shirts, we got stickers. And yes, we are traveling halfway across the world, leaving our families to go watch this team.
Our wives are thrilled.
To go watch this team.
Jesus. At least
play Arsenal and Real Sociedad in San Sebastian, which, might I add, is a nice place. But why would you want to go watch shit football in a nice place like San Sebastian? But we were going to go there, sir. We're going to get get the hot sauce. We're going to eat those L's live in person. Marcus Rashford doing great. Everyone who leaves.
Doing great. How you doing, guys? Not great.
Tell us about iTunes reviews, sir.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Devils wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're still giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of the review to americanrevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one. Eyes wide open. Great show. Thank you guys for giving us an honest and real assessment of where Manchester United is right now. I was getting tired of being hoodwinked into thinking all these Eric Ten Hag signings were better than they actually are. But like you, I do think Ruben Amorim is the right guy for the job. You guys are helping me vent frustration, giving me hope, and even making me laugh through all this craziness. Keep it up. Thank you for all the American Devils. You guys have been the one bright spot this season. Check out our YouTube. Like, subscribe. It goes a long way. This team's not going to bring you any joy. Maybe the American Devils will bring you a little bit, sir, before we pass that Kool-Aid around. Let's get in this game.
Sir, I'm not finished just yet.
I bet you're
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, yeah. Lay into him.
All right, let's get in this $1 billion starting 11 here. We have the legendary Onana in net, Euro, Maguire, DeLitt, center back line, Delo at left wing back, Ugarte, Bruno midfield 2, Mazraoui, Zirkzee up front, and Christian Eriksen comes in, a little extra spice. I did like the Eriksen nod.
Yeah, I like the Eriksen nod. We have issues with Zirkzee that hasn't worked yet. There's no reason to think it was going to work today, but you knew Garnacho was going to get benched after his antics midweek. So not a huge amount of surprises in this 11. Concerns with the Zirkzee, but I was happy Eriksen was pushing forward. I thought maybe he could unlock something against a Fulham team I thought we could get after. That wasn't the case. Or what did you think when you saw this 11?
I think after this Fulham game, Højlund's on the bench and Cheeto has to be starting. It's you don't want that to happen to a player. But he has gotten so many minutes, and he is an absolute ghost. I've said it. He plays. He's a ghost. Cheeto, it changed when he came on. And by the way, he's a kid. He is nowhere near. He is like, you can ruin him. Like, he is so young and such a raw talent and is not ready to start. But United has no other choice. Like, Zirkzee, you can kind of, on the ball, he can do stuff, but that's not what this team needs. We don't need flair. We need someone who can actually, like, beat a man for pace, like keep the width outside. Like what Zirkzee's doing is effective in a different team, but not this one. And with Højlund, it's just absolutely a brutal watch. But, sir, let's jump into the first half. Walk me through it.
Like I said, Fulham were dreadful in that first half, but somehow United were even worse. In the 11th minute, Bruno had a nice shot, but it was well saved by Leno. And then the game kind of was it was a tough watch for large parts of the first half. There was some action that started picking up at the end of the first half. Great chance for Fulham. Iwobi put a really dangerous ball in, but Lukic headed it over. And then, nobody doing much of nothing, all of a sudden, United are walking in to the halftime dressing room, 1-0 down, sir. Set piece defending once again. What do you expect from this group of lovers?
Guided on and guided in by Calvin Bassey. He's done it again at Old Trafford. We end up getting pinned in,
I mean, why is Moss keeping him on there, too? That's just sloppy back line. Switching off, United struggle with set pieces. You're bad. You're bottom table. You concede set pieces, sir.
So, bad goal. People watching, player watching once again, they really had no bite, no cutting edge. Fulham, that is. And United, they get a good chance. They make the most of it. What do you expect from this United side? They're going to let you down time and time again. And that's exactly what they did in that first half. Second half, a little better because the subs. I think Ruben Amorim forced the issue. He made some subs early. 53rd minute, Lindelöf and Cheeto came on for Højlund and Euro. I think that tells you what we thought of Højlund that day when he was getting yanked that early. But Cheeto, he was making a name for himself, right? He's not physically wise. He's nowhere near where Højlund is, but you can already tell he's got better IQ because he was making the right runs. He was putting himself in the right positions, and he's a player. He just needs years. And
but he doesn't even have the touch. You know,
you can tell he's like a kid. He looks like a kid, even though he's tall.
Just because he had pace and his positioning, it was such a refresh from having Højlund on the pitch. But he needs 2 years.
2 years.
To be able to play the starting 9 at United. But because Højlund is so out of form that I think you just got to go with the kid. And then you risk ruining him. Like that, you really do risk ruining him. And he almost had a great chance here in the second half. 68th minute, Casemiro on for Eriksen. Have a laugh, Just the shots that Casemiro takes from outside the box, I just laugh sometimes. We're a really bad team. This is a really, really bad team. Casemiro making all that money and trying to just hit worldies outside the box. Everybody's selfish. Nobody's playing for themselves. Everyone's playing for themselves. That's really what this comes down to. We did have a moment here. Bruno Fernandes, 71st minute, difference maker for Manchester United, sir. Let's get this goal. It was a pretty one. We needed it.
Bailing us out once again, Bruno Fernandes. Let's go.
Dalot. Fernandes scores! And the man with a golden touch in the FA Cup has rescued Manchester
Great goal,
United.
seen this many times.
Well, this was always going to be the problem for Fulham.
This goal, but this team attacking the Stretford End needed to show more fight. They needed to get it done in 90. That was the mandate, but we kind of faded from here.
We did. We had a moment that first half of extra time. We really faded in the second half of it, but we weren't going to win the penalties. It just didn't feel like it was going to happen. Maybe if Bayindir was around, Onana didn't seem like he was going to step up, which he did not. They did have a flurry of chances late into stoppage time in that second half. Onana had an effective save on Smith Rowe. He had a pretty dangerous shot. And then United had a bunch of chances. Cheeto had 2 decent ones, one of which forced their keeper into a good save. And Garnacho also had a good one, but he couldn't really get the shot out of his feet. But like you said, not enough. We carry into extra time, sir. Aiden Heaven came on for Harry Maguire. Another kid, dude. Another kid at the end of the day. We didn't even fill the entire bench. We had open spots that weren't filled.
Sign me up. Ruben Amorim, you know it. 25% Portuguese. I can get out there. Can't be worse than Højlund.
What's the rest?
Can't be worse than Højlund, sir. I'd look good in the full kit. That's all I got to say. Come on.
93rd minute, nice ball over the top from Casemiro to Garnacho. He hit the side netting. 100th minute, good chance for Cheeto. If you guys touch wrong, it was a really good ball in from Bruno. And then this is the last really good chance in the game for United. 106th minute. Cheeto showed his pace well. He got on the ball really nicely. This was it. This was he turned his hips so well.
No, but the
natural striker finish. But Leno makes a great save.
No, and it was actually deflected, but just there was a pocket of space there, and you just saw him zip right into it.
He's got the instinct.
So it's the raw talent, that pace, because even the center backs couldn't get there, and all of a sudden he was zoop right there, and then he was able to create something from nothing. that is the raw talent of a youngster.
That's your bright
but
spark.
What you're seeing, you saw some bad touches when he first came on, and the confidence isn't there. So you probably need to go to him now with Højlund. Just like can't start, can't start anymore.
No, not for now.
And you just got to be careful with him. But you're starting to see glimpses. But it's not like Rashford when he came on. I felt like he was much more ready for the spotlight when he came on as a youngster. Cheeto is definitely much more raw.
I mean, you see why there was there's so much hype around him in the first place. You see the potential, you see the type of player he can grow into, but like you said, I have to agree, he's even behind where Rashford was when he broke onto the scene. So anyway, sir, we go into penalties. Everybody knows how that ends. Bruno hits his, Dalot, Casemiro, and then Lindelöf with a really poor penalty. Nothing to write home about. We don't need to relive that shit.
Yeah,
You're killing me.
Like, why wouldn't you want to watch? Like, I thought Anthony Robinson had a great penalty.
He's a great player.
But Onana moved too early, right? I felt like Onana was poor in the penalties. I obviously it's tough to be a goalie there, but even the Anthony Robinson one where he just didn't even kick it in the corner because Onana moved so early was definitely bizarre. Okay, let's get to the Lindelof moment. Lindelöf, show me what you got.
No doubt. I'm looking at that. Jesus.
And the first to fail.
I mean, he was put in
Pushing
so
back the way
Cheeto
rather
didn't have to
than
dig it.
stretching to reach it. Anthony Robinson to give Fulham the advantage, which he does.
This is a bad
That
pen,
may
too.
only be momentary. Zirkzee fails.
And that was a really bad penalty from Zirkzee. That was a very poor pen, unfortunately. Like, look, you're starting to see kind of what he can do on the pitch. You're last. You're supposed to be the top dog there, and that was a very poor penalty in a clutch spot. Tough. It's tough. It's tough to play striker for Manchester United, right?
It's tough to play on this side. Nobody's going to be coming bailing you out. There's only a couple of players that really earned their stripes today. Bruno's one of them. That's about it. I mean, I thought Ligt showed some fight, but like this team is full of passengers. This team's going to let you down. We crashed out of the FA Cup against a poor Fulham side.
I don't think anyone's going to write home about this team. I don't think even Bruno Fernandes, people are going to be singing songs of the great captain of Manchester United and how
you're 14th place,
but like you know what I'm saying, like no
he
one's
is a
gonna
great
look,
player.
We're going to be like he's a good player, but we're never going to look at this team and be like, oh, this is such a great Manchester United. No, this is shit.
You think?
This is like
No
you're
shit,
a part
dude.
of a mediocre team. This whole team is shit. I'm sure everyone deserves, like, it's a team sport, right? You can have more talent, but I do think that there's a certain togetherness and a team spirit that Fulham plays with that United doesn't. So everyone in a certain respect is at blame for that. And I think everyone deserves blame. If you're a part of this team right now, like, it's not like all of a sudden Bruno, he scores a goal and then he just is like, gets a free pass. Like, he's this great United legend. It's like, no, everyone's a part of this team. It's a failure, abject failure. And they deserve to be called out for it because it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing. We know we're going to lose to Fulham at home, and we do in spineless fashion. This is like, where's the fight?
You're not going to see it from this side. I wasn't saying like, oh, he deserves credit. I'm just saying if he wasn't on this team, we get relegated. This team is relegated without Bruno Fernandes in this team in the 2024-2025 season. And that's like a fact, Jack. You look at the number of goals he's contributed to. So, yeah,
no, I agree.
No one's going to have some grand legacy of Bruno Fernandes.
No, I do agree.
But
yes,
he does work hard.
Worse.
Yeah, we'd be worse. We would be relegated. We would literally be going to the championship, and INEOS would probably get their back broken, and then in come the Qataris, which might still happen in a couple of years. So, terrible day at the office. It's even worse so because you and I both predicted the loss going into it. The team didn't shock us. It actually shocked us because we had a chance to win. We had a couple of chances to win, especially in extra time, and United showed.
There's nothing there.
No,
there's nothing.
We're going on a plane in 2 days, broski.
There's nothing.
2 games.
I understand, but
Get ready.
Hey, I wear my heart on my sleeve with this club, and there's nothing there. Like, you can lose games. You can get hard done by the ref. You could have things go against you at Fulham, but you showed heart. You showed fight. This team doesn't know how to get a hold of a game. It doesn't know how to start a game at home. We don't even know how to show up at home in the best stadium in the country or in the world. As far as atmosphere, and you're attacking the Stretford End, they can't even get the Stretford End up for 20 minutes. There's no wave after wave of attack. It's just slop shop. There's nothing to it. And yes, we were going. I love this club irrationally. Obviously, we're going to watch it. But like, you gotta give me something. That's what it's about. Fulham gets it. Like these other teams we play in the league, Nottingham Forest understands it. It's like you got to fight and die for the badge. It's like, where is that? Where is that at United? It's not there, and that's why I blame everybody. Because everyone's a part of this malaise. Everyone's a part of the mediocrity that's sunk in at this club, and everybody who's a fan of it knows they shouldn't be anywhere near it. And I'm sick of it, sir. I'm at my limit with this shit.
And we're going to be carrying a lot of these players for a long time. And there's no huge transfer kitty coming up this summer. We're missing Europe. Now it looks certain. You know, I think it's just a matter of time before we get knocked out of the Europa League. Probably end next week. Time we get back, we'll be on our halfway home. And it's not going to get any better because, like, INEOS are not coming to save us. Guess what? You think Sir Jim's going to put another $1 billion in? That's what would be needed. That's what would be needed to give INEOS a proper chance of figuring it out. And that's with, like, 3 or 4 years of fucking shit up, which they don't have because we have no money and the club is broke and Jim's not reaching into his pocket anymore. And this team needs money to rebuild this squad. So the only alternative is if, like, we wait for the youth. We take that 2 years that Cheeto's going to need to be ready, and we play that out with Ruben Amorim and just say, hey, follow him down to the championship, and he'll take us back up. But it doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon. It might get worse.
Stat sheet, they had 60% of the ball in our house, Fulham. We didn't have a red card. We had 11 men. They had 60% of the ball. We did more with it. We had 9 shots on target to their 5. They ended up getting the win in penalties. Let's check in with the man, the hoodie. Ruben Amorim, enjoying it. Let's see what he says.
I think we started quite well with good possession, controlling the game, but we cannot maintain that for all the game. Sometimes we drop the line to feel more comfortable, trying to use the transitions. I think during the game we create the best chances. Sometimes we didn't control the game with the ball. But in the end, with the penalties can happen for both sides, and today was not our day.
So, what was the thinking behind Victor Lindelöf taking the 4th penalty kick? I know he converted against Brighton a few years ago, but there's maybe some surprise that Zirkzee or Garnacho didn't take one before him.
No, he was really confident to take a shot. He's training really well, scoring in training, so it was a obvious choice. Go.
Obvious choice, Lindelöf taking the pen. I wouldn't have thought that, but that's a rough one.
Well, there you go. You know, he missed it. The manager is eating shit for breakfast.
That was a surprise at 4. Like I said, if this was 7, Lindelöf for sure. But like 4?
There weren't that many players. I mean, I would have expected to see Garnacho ahead of Lindelöf. I would have even expected to see Zirkzee ahead of Lindelöf. I think Lindelöf scored a penalty against Arsenal earlier in the cup when we did go to penalties with Bayern Deer having his heroics. But I wouldn't pick the Iceman. I know he was given that fucking nickname. I have no idea why. He's never shown that one moment as being a Manchester United player for what, going on a decade? Maybe 8 years? He's been in here way too long. That's the kind of player that's just been in this club for far too long. And speaks to how poor the recruitment's been. Because even with a player who's like a C, he was like a C signing because we spent so little. We spent like $20 million. He's like a very average center back. The fact is that we still have him because like there's been so many L's that like, well, Lindelöf's not that bad. Delow's not that bad. Enter name's not that. They're all sort of the side. The recruitment has killed this club.
There's not a team here. They're like, look at the bench. Like that, people aren't talking about like, hey, look, Manchester United, Fulham comes to our house, beats us. We don't even show a fight. Like, okay, like that's controversial. That pisses me off. Look at the bench. We don't have anyone on the bench. We don't even have a full team. And the thing is, we're broke and we don't have a full team. So for us to even get a full team, then you get a full team of people who actually want to play and buy into a system, which we haven't figured out how to do since 2012-13. And I have no idea who can do that. How many managers are here at the intro of the podcast? It's like
how many managers are we going to go through before we win? It's
like
probably 10. We probably
10,
got
11.
We're like halfway home.
Shit. Fan questions. What do we got? ARD fam, let's go.
We're not going to make them feel better.
At United Scores. Sirs, I hit a wall tonight. Who are we? What have we become? Just fucking losing hope. That's it. Like 1,000-yard stare. Like usually we're like, hey, if you wouldn't laugh, you cry. This is rough. Da 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 da. But like where we are now, this is new territory. And I think it's because Alex always says it's always darkest before the dawn. And he's like, you
darker,
just keep jinxing us down there.
I'm not jinxing us. It's just like we're just not there yet.
Keeps getting darker, dude.
I got to be right eventually, brother. Eventually, I'm going to be right. I just could be like a decade or two away from it.
Keep
going.
Can't see.
Digging, bro.
Keep getting
digging.
darker. And Mike United Mets. Hoyland, Zirkzee, Obi. It doesn't matter. This team has no ability to score goals. You could have Hall in there. We wouldn't score. If we win Europa League, it will be a miracle to keep this club above water and do not...
Not needing the Microsoft Copilot Stadium, dark days. So the Microsoft Copilot Stadium is coming, by the way. Like the Old Trafford brought to you by Microsoft Copilot.
I think Hoyland and Zirkzee are extraordinarily poor, and Obi is like a kid. So I wouldn't expect them to score a lot of goals. Now, if you got like a Holland wouldn't score in this team, gets no service, certain type of striker, but I think Rashford up top, we might look a little different. Unfortunately, like I know that I'm not going there. I'm just saying.
Don't go there.
Try hard Rashford.
Try hard, yeah, when he wants
at number 9 for United right now, we would not be in as bad of a spot. Now, I'm not saying he should be here. I'm just saying if you had someone like that who could run in behind and had the skill and experience, we would not be in the same position.
I'll tell you what, I'd use a Rashford as motivated as he is at Aston Villa.
Yeah, try hard
Rashford.
Rashford.
If he's trying hard right now, I'd love that. I love that because right now I'd love a try hard Rashford.
Yeah, it's like he break up, bounce back.
Bounce back.
Like,
he's getting fit.
Sure, you got to lose a few pounds, start
new
working
clothes,
out, get a
new
tan.
clothes,
The whole thing. Rolling the Deep, 1995. Should have won the game, but were abysmal in the final third. Absolutely no hustle. This team, barring a couple of players, some good moments from Bruno, De Ligt, Zirkzee, but also bad otherwise. Winning the cup was always a long shot, but the loss hurts nevertheless. And at Fairway Freddie, he can have all the training time he likes, but have such a weak attacking strategy is shocking. It seems players simply don't know where each other are in the box. I feel sad. Amorim might not be the man. Is it not the bottom? It's feeling pretty low.
Pretty low.
So we are traveling to go to San Sebastian, which I thought was gonna be like a great, like a couple of months ago. We booked it. Like
great idea.
Trip.
Great idea. At least it's not like Romania.
If we go to Sociedad and they have a day like 3-1, 4-1, like it could get real dark.
I would say go enjoy yourself. Enjoy Spain. Don't worry about the game because I think we're going to see 2 losses and 0 goals for Manchester United. Like that's my prediction.
Yes, but we do it because we love this club. We love this club. We love this club. I don't know about these players.
No.
But I love this club. And
I like the away
one
fans.
day we'll be back, and there's nothing better. There's nothing.
Our kids are going to be in college, bro.
There's no greater failure than this team. It's like Real Madrid going to the bottom of La Liga for 10 years straight. Like it just the ability for this club to just fail is astonishing.
Case studies will be written about like a club where they were at their peak, or even in 08, 09, or 13, where we want to start like doing the line, and the way we've fallen down in the last decade is kind of like
it's like every
while
decision,
spending $1 billion plus, like every decision went wrong. Every coach, 95% of the signings, it's all been a disaster, and INEOS look like they're just accelerating the process into the ground.
At Gordon Frederick, why aren't we filling out the bench? Going in extra time was always a possibility. Why not give yourself as many options as possible? I'm worried about Thursday. I'm worried about Thursday as well, and I'm flying over there.
Where you go with? Anyone good? So get ready. It's gonna be great. It's
No,
gonna be great. We're gonna see a big result. Hoyland's gonna get a hat trick. He's due.
Fuck them all, burn it all down. Glazers out. Bunch of idiots. Season can't end soon enough. I like it. That's right. This is, if you're still watching, shout out to you.
God bless you.
# pod therapy. At Gray Internet, love the pod. I'm out until August. Best of luck.
That's
sirs.
great.
You know what?
Can we take that option? Is that on the table?
We'll see how the trip goes. We might be like,
we're out, guys.
ARD, we just have like a closed till summer transfer window signed. You're like, we're like, this is just too much to handle. At least you're in the relegation fight. You get some. There's just too much malaise in this team right now and with this club. So, sir, you know what? That is it. That is the podcast. You like the American Devils? Please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. Like, subscribe, like the socials, do all that fun stuff, sir. Give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Excuse me. Chicago, Illinois, Melbourne, Australia, Los Angeles, California, Dublin, Ireland, Brooklyn, New York, New York, San Diego, California, Oslo, Norway, Manchester, England, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. I'm not even going to say it's always darkest for the dawn. Hang in there, folks. It's rough. Could get rougher. At least we have each other. Appreciate all the American Devils. Like, subscribe. Couldn't do without you. Keep your heads up high. This is still Manchester United. Someday we'll be back. It just might be years and years from now.
Never say die.
There you go.